Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the PodUp with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. PodUp, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Monday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care, back in the saddle. We're going to be joined here in just a second by JC. We'll break down everything that happened over the weekend in hockey and golf and college baseball, NBA playoffs, you name it. We're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about the college football playoff. I'm going to have JC get me up to date on what's going on there. But
yeah,
good morning,
what?
JC. How are you?
Yeah, QB. What are you talking about? Get you up to date. This happened last week. What you didn't keep up with it?
I did not. I mean, I know they're
really?
talking about what is it, a 12 team?
Okay, yeah. Well, it is. It's a 12-team proposal this week. The commissioners of the conferences, all of them, will be meeting in Chicago to, I guess, ratify this proposal and make it a reality. The unfortunate thing about this is we're going to have to wait 2 years in all likelihood. Obviously not going to have it this year and probably not next year. So 2023 will be the season. This is instant. This is put in play, but it is going to happen. As far as I'm concerned, and I touched on this Friday with Jake Hitt, but as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the best things that could have happened to college football. I don't think there's any doubt they're making the right decisions for a variety of reasons. I certainly think the pandemic had something to do with it. I also think television and money has something to do with it. You can tie that all together. Athletic departments need money. This is a moneymaker. It will take over the sports world in December and January. I know the NFL is big, but think about it. If you've got the Florida Gators hosting the Iowa Hawkeyes in Gainesville, Florida on December, whatever it is, and you've got the Falcons playing the Jaguars or the Bucks in a game that's just basically working out the schedule, there's going to be more eyes on this college football.
So that's what I wanted to ask. I knew about the 12 team and all that stuff, but so they're after the conference championship games, they're going to be home site games.
We're going to have 12 teams. The first 4 seeds are going to be given a bye. How do you find those 4 seeds? Well, you're going to get the highest rated 6 conference champions are going to be put in, and then you will have 6 at large. So let's say, and there are no conference tie-ins, and you can have as many teams out of one conference as you need. But
when you say there's 6 conference champions, so 6 conference there's only
champions,
5 Power 5 conferences.
But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Pac-12 could be out of this. Big 12 could be out of this. You could have the Mountain West in here. You could have so you're going to take those 6 conference champions. Of those 6, the 4 highest rated of those 6. Well, actually, the 4 highest rated, period, most likely a conference champion, will get a bye week. The 5 seed, the 6 seed, the 7 seed, and the 8 seeded teams will have home games on campus. They will then advance to the quarterfinals, where those teams that had the byes will start to play, and they will institute the bowl games. What I think will happen, and what I believe to be the case as they tweak this, is that you're going to at some point have to give these teams that get the bye weeks a home game on campus. I don't think anybody at LSU or Ohio State or Alabama or Florida or anywhere is going to want to say, well, it's crazy how 5, 6, 7, and 8 got to have on-campus games with all that revenue, and we had to take the day off, and now we have to travel potentially to 3 neutral sites to win a national championship. So I think at some point they're going to say maybe the quarterfinals will be on campus, but as it stands right now, the proposed system would have the top 4 off, and then the 5, 6, 7, and 8 playing on campus against 9, 10, 11, and 12, and you go to the quarterfinals from there. And to me,
Notre Dame is not allowed to have a bye, right?
They will not have a bye unless they join a conference, and I think that's great. And I love the fact that they will not have a chance to get a bye. And so I think it is fantastic. They're going to eventually join a conference. I really believe they will. But as it stands right now, that's the proposal. I think these people this week in Chicago will say yes to it. We'll first see it happen in 2023. and we can finally talk about participation, inclusiveness, the fact that maybe recruiting will change somewhat because maybe kids will think they have a chance to win a championship at a school closer to home rather than flying 5 time zones to Alabama to play. So, yeah, I think that's all put into this thinking. But I think more than anything, it's about participation and allowing these other schools and these other conferences to have a seat at the table, and it's going to happen.
So the second round of the playoff starts the bowl season.
That's the quarterfinal. Well, it starts. Well, I don't know if it starts the bowl season or if it's where the 6 major bowls are going to be part of.
Okay, but what I'm saying though is
games.
What I'm trying to get at is
I think that's right.
If you're a first round participant in the playoffs
on campus,
if you lose, you don't go to a bowl game.
If you lose, you're out. So in the first round of playoffs.
Yeah, so I'm saying the first round of the playoffs, if you lose, you're not part of the bowl.
No,
series.
Yeah, you won't play in the quarterfinals, obviously. And there will be the bowls will obviously have a place for some of these teams that don't make the playoffs for certain. But I also think you're looking at maybe some of these bowls going away. And that's just the cost of progress. It's just going to happen to some of these bowl games. But you will have bowl games. And teams that don't make the 12-team playoff will obviously be playing in bowl games. But what they're trying to do is find a way to get the quarterfinal games where you have the 4 top seeds as part of the bowl games that we used to call the bowl championship series. And I think what I hope happens is that at some point, these 4 top seeds are going to want to have an on-campus game in their quarterfinal playoff. Otherwise, the champion, if you're unseeded, or rather, if you're in the top 4 seed, will not have a home game and have to play 3 neutral site games. That's going to wreak havoc on traveling, especially for the fans. And it won't, you're just not going to be allowed to go to all of them. But if you have an on-campus game, if you say to these 4 seeds that get the bye, now you're also going to be playing for an on-campus game if you get a bye as well in the quarter season. That's going to make the regular season even more important because it's going to position you to succeed in the playoffs, just like they do in football, in the NBA, in the NHL, and in Major League Baseball. The regular season is about positioning yourself to succeed in the postseason. That's all it is. And I don't think anybody is delusional to think that these regular season games are going to be meaningless because there's 12 teams in a playoff. I absolutely categorically don't believe that. So I think that's how it's going to happen. If it doesn't, then the 4 teams that get the byes are going to play a neutral site game against the winners of the on-campus games in the quarterfinals.
If you got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. Call them today. That's QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. Speaking with JC here on the Titan MR hotline, we were actually having to tape JC today because he is going on a golf trip. But JC, inquiring minds want to know, why are you not wearing your Tampa Bay Lightning sweater today?
Well, they were flat. Scored 1 goal in the last minute of the game. New York beat them 2-1, but it's only game 1. They have won plenty of series in hockey after losing the first game. I still think they're going to win this series in 6, but I think the Islanders should be given a lot of credit for the way they've really come alive. Vegas, having swept Colorado in 4 games, winning in 6, but winning the last 4 games of their series, which is amazing. I think we'll have no issues with Montreal. And I think you'll see them play the winner of New York and Tampa, which I still think is going to be Tampa. But they were flat. They flat out were just uninspired. The goalie let a cheap goal get through. Maybe this is what happens sometimes when you're off 6 days. And, New York had just finished a physical series with Boston. They didn't have as much time off, and they came ready to play in Tampa. But I think the Lightning will turn it around, get it going. But they're going to have to win 1 in New York now.
Yep, and then in the Western Conference Finals, it's
Vegas and Montreal. They have
not started yet. Also yesterday, the Milwaukee Bucks have tied up their series with the Nets 2-2.
That was impressive.
Yeah, NBA and the NHL continue on. JC, let's talk a little college baseball, super regionals.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I was out of town, but I got home and was unpacking and turned on the Tennessee game against LSU.
Woo.
I don't know if I've ever seen a team hit the baseball like Tennessee hit.
It's batting practice.
I think they need to check their bats.
It was batting practice in Knoxville. The wind was blowing out.
They might need to check their bats.
The wind was blowing out, QB, but they blew them out. I don't know. I think it's great for Tennessee. First time since 2005 they've made it to Omaha. This is good for the SEC to have a team like this be representing in Omaha. There is no doubt they'll have 10, 15,000 fans go. I mean, they may not all get in, but there's going to be orange everywhere in Omaha next week. Everywhere.
Well, think about this. Tennessee and Vanderbilt are going to be there.
It's going to be fantastic. And, as we sit, we're not sure about Arkansas, Mississippi State, or Ole Miss, but they all have a chance to win. If Arkansas loses, they're obviously out. We know now, but we don't know now. So same with Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Notre Dame, as we speak, is blowing out Mississippi State. So it's fair to say there will be a third game in that series today.
Yeah, and I watched some of that game as well. And the way that Notre Dame got the lead, they didn't even hit the ball out of the infield a couple of times. There's some fluke hits, but then they hit a 3-run homer that kind of busted it open. But the crowd at Dudy Noble is just unbelievable.
It's fabulous. They better get ready, though, because it's a win or go home situation in all likelihood today. And as we sit, Arkansas just tied the game with NC State. So we'll see. I'm rooting for all the SEC teams. I loved watching Ole Miss bomb Arizona last night. I loved watching Mississippi carry 2,000 people out to Tucson, if that's how many came. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that many, but it sure was. They have the same colors, both those schools. So everybody was dressed the same, but it seemed like the Ole Miss folks were a lot louder than the folks baking in Tucson. So go Ole Miss. I hope they won.
Refresh your vehicle and your brand with a vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. June is your lucky month at Wrap Spot. Mention promo code Shane, receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. Speaking on the Titan MR hotline with JC here. JC, could you imagine? There's a good possibility, and again, like we're taping the show, so we don't know all the results. But 5 of the 8 teams in Omaha could be all Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, and it's obvious that the conference rules baseball, and I think Vanderbilt could be the team to beat with those 2 pitchers. But the way Tennessee's hitting, you just don't know. And Arkansas, so if they made it, so I'm fired up for the College World Series. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But I'll tell you, QB, last week I was really in a good mood because of this football news. And to me, the idea that the Florida Gators could travel to play at Camp Randall Stadium in December is so cool. And who wouldn't want to go there? And vice versa. If Iowa, University of Iowa, or if Texas had a play in the swamp in December, wouldn't that be something exciting to think about as we go into the holidays? A game like that in Gainesville with the freaking Texas Longhorns coming in and Steve Sark. All of this now becomes possible. And it also is exciting for these smaller schools like Coastal Carolinas and the UCFs and the USFs and all these guys who have a reason to win their conference now. I think it's going to help them in recruiting. I think it's going to help them with just basic interest. And the money is going to increase for everyone. I think everybody wins in this scenario. And I'm glad 12 was the number. I never really thought about 12 teams until they came up with all of these scenarios and possibilities. And it makes more sense than 6, and it makes more sense than 8 to me. And if you're worried about kids playing too long of a season, then do something about. But this is just some of the things you hear. But to me, some of these regular season games, look, you could go to a 9-game conference schedule. You could also have some of these conference championship games. I don't know. All of this stuff is going to get talked about. But the idea that you're going to have 12 teams capable of winning a national title, to me, is just absolutely wonderful.
No, I agree. What I don't understand is why they have to wait till 2023 to get it done.
Yeah, I don't know why they couldn't do it next
because
season.
Whoever has the TV contract is the one that has all the leverage. And all they got to do is say, okay, we're going to tear this up because y'all are going to play the games on our network, and let's start it next year. I don't understand why they can't.
Yeah, I'd like somebody a little bit smarter than us to explain to us why it will take. Bill Hancock would have the reason for that, and I'm just reiterating what I heard him say as far as instituting this as soon as possible. And 2023 was what he said. Of course, the guy interviewing him, I don't think, pressed him on why that had to be. Maybe it's just all logistical. It's some things that we don't know. But the idea of having, 4 bye weeks, or 4 teams getting a bye, 4 teams playing home games on campus against 4 who have to travel for the first round of a playoff is just spectacular. And it just means that these other schools are going to have a shot now. You're going to give these other schools an opportunity. And that's all I think that people have wanted, these athletic directors of these schools, the Memphises of the world and these really good teams that we know can play are going to finally have their shot. And, it just brings about a whole new meaning to all these different conferences. It just really matters now. It really matters now. QB, there was 78% of the teams that have played in the college football playoff equal 5. of all the teams that played, 5 teams represent 78% of those who have participated in the college football playoff. That is just not going to get it done on a nationwide scale, and interest is going to lose.
But I could probably go ahead right now and tell you the 6 to 8 teams that are going to be in the college football playoff every year.
Well, yeah, and
in the future,
and maybe
I'll be able to forecast the future.
Well, you do that anyway, right? Especially with the golf picks. But no, but still, we don't have to hear the belly aching about we don't have a chance anymore, or going 12-0 doesn't mean anything in the Sun Belt, or whatever it is. Now it does matter, and it's really a refreshing change, and it's amazing how this happened so quickly to me. I think they knew and I do think the pandemic had a lot to do with it. The money situation for so many athletic departments is dire. And this is something that's going to happen.
Even during that pandemic, the SEC stroked a $27 million check to all 14 schools.
And gobs of dollars. Yeah. I mean, this is why you see Missouri and Arkansas happy to be in the SEC with 0 chance of winning the conference, but they're happy. Arkansas is never going to join the Big 8 or 12 or Big 10 or whatever it is, Big 12. They're going to stay in the SEC.
Won a ton of SEC titles this year, though.
In other sports, absolutely they did. Absolutely they did. But their football fans aren't very happy the way that's gone. So, look,
they went to a bowl game last year. That's pretty good.
No, it's true. Hey, Sam Pittman's done a great job.
JC, the Peachland Dentistry golf picks, I think your guy finished the highest. Dustin Johnson.
I had DJ as a top 10 guy.
He came in tied for 10th at the Palmetto Championship. Dude from South Africa named Garrick Higo won. So now we move out to the West Coast, which is awesome because we're going to get night golf here on the East Coast for the U.S. Open.
Is. Father's Day with the U.S. Open at 7:30 on primetime television to go along with the College World Series, to go along with the NBA and NHL playoffs. Father's Day, baby. It's a national holiday for all us daddies. And we're going to have the day of our life. We're going to get to play golf during the day. We're going to get to watch sports all day and finish up the day with the U.S. Open final round. What a day, Father's Day. Oh, my God, I can't wait.
That's every day for you, though, JC.
Every day. Okay. Well, yeah. But this is going to be a great weekend.
Why don't you let all the worldwide listeners know what golf course you're going to play?
I'm going to Kiowa Island, the site of Phil Mickelson's greatest major championship win.
Not just his. I think it was the greatest major win.
I mean, it has to be considered with his first Masters. It's right up there with his first Masters because of his age and because, he's
the golf course, the hardest golf course played.
Oh, my God. I can't wait. You think I can break 100 there?
It depends on if you don't play the real old man tees.
I'm not. I can tell you I won't.
JC, suck it up and tell your guys you want to play it all the way back. I mean, why wouldn't you?
God.
Why wouldn't you want to play where the boys play from?
Well, it's hard enough. I mean, I'm not a pro golfer.
JC. Be a competitor.
As hard as this is to believe, I'm not quite a pro golfer. Okay,
be a
as
competitor,
hard as that is.
Though.
Well, look, it's a big deal. I mean, it's going to be a big deal for us up there. But
okay, I don't think you're going to break 90. I'm gonna set the over under at 90.
It's fair. I mean, the wind could be just ridiculously bad up there.
How many rounds are you playing?
2 rounds.
Same golf course?
No, ocean course, and then something called the Cougar or something. I don't know, but it's on Kiowa Island. Yeah.
And did Cornell win a bowling title this year or what? I mean, why are we wearing
big
this
red
shirt?
football? I don't know. It matches my Titleist hat here. I don't. Yeah, look, I just got back from the beach. What do you want from me? I have to unpack everything. But it was a great.
You took off your lightning sweater before you came on to tape the show.
Well, look, they're not done. Don't write them off yet. I mean, you'd be crazy to write the defending Stanley Cup champions off. They were flat, no question about it. The goalie let in a cheap goal, but it's game one, QB. You know how that is.
No, I agree, but I know how you are too. If they would have won, you would have had that stuff on.
It's possible. It's possible.
Very possible.
But tonight, Vegas is going to start their sweep of Montreal, and they're going to punch their ticket for the Stanley Cup final. To me, there's no doubt about it. They're the hottest team going right now.
Yeah, but how do you think they're going to sweep the Canadiens?
Yeah, I do. Canadians were a 500 team during the season. They are playing now in front of a big crowd. They haven't played in front of people entire year. Maybe it's an adjustment they're going to have to get used to. I don't know. It's been 2 years now since that team has played in front of anybody. Think about that. That team has not skated in front of fans, and they had a couple thousand maybe, but that team has not skated in front of a large attendance in 2 years. 2 years. So I don't know. To me, it could be an adjustment time for them. But they're pros, and they're used to what they're doing, and I know that they're going to play well. But Vegas right now is playing at such a level. If you can beat Colorado at 4 straight games, and Colorado being one of the most talented teams ever played the game, you beat them in 4 straight games, you are on fire, and they are on fire.
Yeah. Before I let you go, we haven't spoken since they crowned another champ in the Women's College World Series. Oklahoma comes out of the losers bracket and beats the Seamies. Were you surprised at all? I wasn't.
No, absolutely not. The way they hit the ball, absolutely not. And now Gasso has won 5, so she's the Nick Saban of college softball. There's no question about that. They are the dynasty.
Does she have more than
I think she's
Mike
got all
Candrea?
5. I have to look that up, but right now she's the queen. I mean, that is the powerhouse program in college softball. Florida State had a chance. I mean, they win the first game. All they had to do was find a way. But good for them. They had a good season. They eliminated Alabama, the SEC champion. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, Oklahoma, it's so almost impossible to beat them in OKC. I mean, you've got 20,000 fans rooting like hell for Oklahoma.
I don't think that has much to do with it, though.
Well, you don't think it gives them an advantage?
They're damn good.
They are. But no, they are. But you know how emotional softball can be, and I think crowds do matter sometimes with these girls. And Oklahoma's got all the home fans, and they don't have to travel, and it's just easier for them. It's just easier for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they get to host the Super Regional, and then they just go across the street to play in the College World Series. What a postseason! My God. So I mean,
but hey, you have to travel to Kiowa, so you're not going to be able to play very well, right?
I'll report on Wednesday if I get. We're going to have to figure out that show because I think Wednesday I'm flying back. I don't know. We'll have to figure that logistics.
We may have to take Tuesday night so we can get a hole by hole.
What if they're celebrating my victory? What if I'm having a celebratory banquet Tuesday night, though, QB? How am I going to do that?
Are you going to be the keynote speaker?
There's a silent auction. There's all kinds of things happening up there, Kiowa, this week. You thought the PGA was big? You watch what happens this week up there. Okay.
All right. Well, hit them straight. Hit them, JC.
Right.
JC, make sure you wear a collared shirt and tuck your shirt in, okay?
Yes, that is going to happen. I better go make sure those shirts stay in my belt.
At least look the part. All right, JC, have a good trip. We'll talk to you soon.
You got all right.
That's JC joining us on the Titan MR hotline. We're going to take our first time out of the program. When we come back, we'll continue this Monday's edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. QC Kinetics, non-surgical regeneration, live pain-free. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Chomp Harder Apparel, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
For all type of restaurant people, managers, servers, bartenders, hosts, cooks, dishwashers, bussers. If you think you're good in the restaurant business, then give us a call.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill job fair is open now. All you have to do is go to spurriersdraft.com and fill out an application.
We're looking for the good team members, and we're looking for people with a wonderful attitude that can make Spurrier's Gridiron Grill the best we can possibly be. To apply, go to spurriersdraft.com.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security Systems Studios, celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Regal Cinemas, Dave & Buster's, Nike, Les Macarons French Pastries, Kilwins, and coming summer of 2021, pretty soon, the HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, invites tailgate and rooftop bar. We will see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. We're going to go to the Titan MR hotline now, and we're joined by the Dean of Sports Talk in the North Central Florida area, Mr. Steve Russell. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Morning, Shane. By the way, I like the French thing there, Shane. Very nice.
Yes. Did you like that? I kind of threw a little accent on there.
Yeah, I like it.
Steve, before we got a lot to talk about here. I got a bunch of different sports I want to run by you. Super regionals, obviously. Let's talk about the Gators first. Okay. Just a horrible way to to end the season. We got a bunch of guys in the transfer portal. Like I said, I don't make a whole lot of that because guys want to play. Everybody has people in the transfer portal. Just your thoughts on the way the season ended with that 19-1 loss to South Alabama.
Well, anytime you end, there's only one team that never ends its season with a loss. Everybody else does. But when it happened, happening at home, and how it happened, all were bad. I mean, nobody expected that. And that's, I guess, the problem. Looking back, Shane, I think this team just suffered from the weight of having all those expectations on it. And frankly, they did not perform as well as I think most people thought they would. The starting pitching was okay. The relief pitching was okay. They were just okay in a lot of areas in which we thought they were going to be good. And as a result, they got knocked off.
Yep. Just in case, and I've been on the road, I haven't followed it all. Give us a rundown of some of the kids that have entered the transfer portal.
Corey Acton, Jordan Butler, Ben Specht among them. And that, again, those don't surprise me. Butler lost his starting job. Is the first baseman, didn't get to pitch a lot. Ben Specht was thought to be one of the guys coming out of the bullpen this year based on his year last year. That was going to pitch a lot. He just didn't. He was hurt a little bit of the year and then didn't get used. And then with Corey Acton, we all saw what happened with him. He was more or less platooned at second base, lost his starting job. So when you recruit big-time talent, look what happened when South Florida played the Gators, Shane. South Florida had 3 pitchers on their staff that were once with Florida, and Roberto Pena, who was hitting third for them. All those guys at one point played for Florida. So this is a yearly occurrence just about, but now with the transfer portal, people know more about it.
Yeah. So the kids with COVID and everything, I lose track of who has eligibility to come back if they want to. Who do you think we definitely lose to the major league draft off this team?
Most people think Judd Fabian, but there's a caveat there. There's some teams that are alarmed by the fact he struck out almost 80 times. But, in Major League Baseball, a lot of people strike out now. It's just how it is. But, if he doesn't get the money he wants and he's looking for, could he come back? Yeah, he's eligible to come back. And he has a little brother who's entering the program as well as an infielder. So maybe a chance to play with him for a year before he goes. They could get Leftwich and those guys back, but that's not going to happen either. They're going to sign, in my opinion. So it looks like, and McMullen is gone because of eligibility. So, there's going to be some changes.
Steve, I talked to, the few days after our regional that we hosted, I was very disappointed in the crowd. But that, to me, that's Florida baseball. They just don't draw, even with a new ballpark. Now, people could say, well, the team's not playing. You're still in the damn regionals, so you should come out. Arizona, if you watched it last night against Ole Miss at all, they had a horrible turnout for their super regional. They are moving on. What do you think Florida needs to do, or is there anything they can do to get more people in the stands? And I'm looking more at the student body, because that's what brings the energy and the atmosphere to these ballparks.
If you look, you know this being from Mississippi, Shane, Ole Miss and Mississippi State, when it's going well, they pack those places. You saw Arkansas yesterday, a huge crowd there. They had 14,000 at Mississippi State. That's ridiculous. And Florida had 3,500. Now, Florida chose the first early game. They chose that because of weather. Okay. So I get it. It's hard to get a big crowd for a noon game. But I think what has to happen, Shane, is that Kevin O'Sullivan, the UF administration, marketing people, maybe some students, who are student government, whatever that is, all need to get together and figure out, maybe the dugout club, and figure out what they can do to boost attendance, because it isn't now you don't have a facility. It isn't now you don't have a great place to watch a baseball game. You do. That's got to happen.
Well, I can give them the simple answer, because it's what they do in Starkville and Oxford. Students, I don't even think they pay to get in the games, first of all, and you can bring your own cooler. So there you have it. Looking at the super regionals, man, Arkansas goes down. They win game one, 21-2. And are you shocked that the Hogs aren't going to be in Omaha?
No, only because, Shane, the number one overall seed, it's almost a curse. The last time an overall number one seed won the College World Series, Miami, in 1999. So
wow.
Just because you're the overall number one seed doesn't mean that you get there, and B, if you do get there, you win. I mean, am I surprised? Yes, because Arkansas was so good. Think how hard it is to win every series in the SEC. That's what Arkansas did. That's very hard to do. But they didn't hit, Shane. They didn't hit late, and that's what cost them. Sometimes you hit a slump at the beginning of the year. It doesn't affect you because you have more games left. But when you don't hit at the end and your season could end, that's exactly what happened to Arkansas.
We got a text on the Titan MR text line. It says, well, Shane, after putting 3 touchdowns on the board Friday night, I reckon the Hogs should have saved a few of those runs. I sure thought this was their year. Damn sure ain't pulling for Tennessee and can't root for Vandy baseball and their annoying fans, especially that damn Whistler. Here's hoping your dogs can send the Irish packing tonight and carry the SEC banner to Omaha. Appreciate the text, Ryan. Speaking of bats, they need to check those damn bats up in Knoxville. Holy, I think they're juiced. I've never seen a team hit balls like they hit.
I'll tell you, Tony Vitello has really rejuvenated that program chain. And if you think the SEC's been difficult, think going forward. Now, they've got a veteran team. They have a lot of leftovers from the previous regime that he just coached up. But he's done a good job in recruiting. And then you see Mississippi State's always going to be good. Ole Miss is a down year for LSU, so who replaces Maneri? This is a tough league, and Florida has to get back in the thick of it, because right now, Florida's not an elite team. Right now, Florida's not an elite team in the SEC. They're very good, but they're not elite.
Speaking of LSU, they make a little magical run there as their manager's on his way out. Who, in your mind, do you think takes over the LSU program? Do you think it's the Tennessee coach? Maybe Link Jarrett at Notre Dame? What do you think, Steve?
I would go after Link Jarrett. That's the guy, if I'm LSU, I would go after, because, number one, he's kind of worked his way up a little. He's not one of these Johnny-come-lately guys. He's worked his way through systems. He played for a big-time program, played for Florida State, and he's done a really good job at Notre Dame. And that's not an easy place. as far as baseball is concerned, and they just mash the baseball. My God, do they hit. So if I'm looking at a guy, that's the guy I'm looking at.
Okay, so we pretty much right now, I think there's 6 teams already set to go to Omaha. We'll find out between Notre Dame and Mississippi State today, and I think it's Dallas Baptist and Virginia. There's only 2 spots left. I don't think you're going to pick either one of those, any of those 4 teams to win it all. Who does Steve Russell think is going to win it?
Wow. Before the season, Shane, I really liked Texas. I think they're a good team. And that's what scared me about Florida, because even if Florida had won its regional, they would have had to go to Austin to play in a super regional, and Texas just took care of South Florida like they were just swatted away. So that's the team that I like. But I've seen too many of these World Series, Shane, where, the favorite doesn't always win. Vanderbilt's got the pedigree. They are the defending champions, right? And they've got 2 really good starting pitchers who, when they're on, are very difficult to beat. But if you're forcing me, I like Texas.
Oh, wow. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Speaking with Steve Russell, the Dean of Sports Talk in Gainesville. You can listen to him at Sports Scene from noon to 2 every day on WRUF. All right, Steve, switching gears a little bit. I'm going to get your thoughts on the college football playoffs, but there's a couple of things I want to run through. You being a guy from New York, are you an Islander or a Ranger?
Ranger.
Okay, so you don't like seeing the Islanders beat the Tampa Bay Lightning.
It's different for me. I'm not anti the other. With the Islanders back in the 80s, won 4 Stanley Cups in a row. Great for the Islanders. And it's great for New York, like the Nets. Okay, I'm a Knicks guy, but, the Nets made a run here. So good for the Islanders. And I'm going to tell you, they can beat the Lightning. I'm not saying they will, but we saw what happened last night. They're a good team.
Well, since you're a Rangers fan, I'm going to read to you This Day in Sports, which is brought to you by our Comfort Tent. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's now hiring members with all levels of experience, great culture and benefits, and opportunity for growth. $1,000 sign-on bonus for qualified positions. Give them a call at 352-376-2366. You probably know what happened in 1994, right, Steve?
Mark Messier and the Rangers.
Yep, the Rangers beat the Vancouver Canucks to win their 54th 54 years of championship drought. Have they won since then, or is that the last time?
That's the last time.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe the Islanders
don't win very often. So when they do, you have to cherish it.
I thought for sure you were a Islander fan, because it seems like anybody that likes the Jets and the Mets likes the Islanders.
Yeah. Long story there. I was never a big Giants fan, but I was a big Namath fan when I was a kid. That's why with the Jets. My whole family were Yankee fans, but when they fired Yogi Berra as the manager, I remember my mother freaking out. I'm never going to be a Yankee fan again. Well, that lasted about a day, but I changed to the Mets because of that. So, you got to stick with it.
Well, that's enough hockey talk. We'll put everybody to sleep. The Olympic trials are going on. I know Florida had a swimmer that advanced to Tokyo. I don't know how long the swimming trials last, but also track is going on. Any other Gators that I missed that have already qualified for the Olympics?
No, one swimmer last night. Track just ended as far as the NCAA. So now the Gator athletic season is finished, and now the Olympic trials will continue.
Yeah. Okay. I was waiting for the last thing to talk to you about the college football playoff, what they've come out with, the 12-team. Does Steve Russell like that?
No, I don't, but I get it. Shane, look, I think 4 teams is so unique in sports because everybody and their brother doesn't get in. I mean, look, I'm as much for March Madness as anybody. I love when the underdog wins, okay? But college football is unique because you have to be elite to make the playoff. I understand the same teams make it. I understand some of the games have been downright bad when it comes to the semifinals. But putting more teams in is great in theory. But at least today, I think what's going to happen, Shane, is more SEC teams are going to get in. More Big Ten teams are going to get in. because those are the power conferences right now. I get it. You're going to have a group of 5 team. Wonderful. You may get another team or 2 to get in, but it's going to be the rich getting richer. And what does that do? What is that? This is a money grab. But I understand it because that makes the world go around.
Well, the one thing I like about it is we don't have to hear all the BS about, the Oklahoma wins the Big 12, but they get shut out of the 14 playoffs somehow. Right. Now, if you win your conference championship, you're getting in. So I think that gives a lot of teams some incentive, at least something to look forward to. So that's the one thing I like the best about it is if you win your conference championship, you're pretty much slotted in.
Yeah. Now, the thing I also like about it, if you're going to go that route, what would stop a team from, I mentioned this the other day on the air, the way they have it structured now is good because the way it could have been structured is if you just win your conference championship, you're in. Well, it's the highest ranked conference champions because what if this would have happened? If Florida has clinched the SEC, or they know they're going to go to the championship game, right? And now they're playing Florida State. Well, what's the incentive of beating Florida State? Because you got to put all your marbles in winning that conference championship because the conference champion gets in. So with this system, it's the highest ranked conference champions that get in. So that Florida State game does mean something because you have to keep winning to continue to be highly ranked. I like that idea of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a text here on the Titan More text line for Jimmy, for you, Steve. It's a 2-part question. Jimmy wants to know, Steve, in all your years of broadcasting Gator baseball, where's your favorite venue in the SEC to broadcast from an atmosphere standpoint? And where's the worst?
The worst is Missouri, without question. I feel badly for the coaching staff there because that facility isn't even in the same world as most of the other ones in the SEC. Even Tennessee's isn't great, but you saw what they did. And they put that area over there. The students have now come in there. They're going to try to at least upgrade what they have. But Missouri is by far the worst. The best is probably Mississippi State. Their fans really get into it. And boy, they gave us a tough time last time we were there because we had a broadcast outdoors when they were finishing up the new stadium. And Mississippi State swept Florida. And boy, did we hear it. So that's probably my favorite place on the road.
Yeah, I agree. I've been to Dudy Noble several times, and it's outstanding for sure. Steve, I want to get your thoughts real quick. We're not far away from college football. The SEC Media Days are right around the corner. A lot of the magazines have come out. Obviously, there have been a couple of so-called experts go on Paul Feinbaum's show and say, Georgia's toughest game is their opener against Clemson, and then they're going to win by double digits over everybody else that they play. Your thoughts?
Anybody who says that needs to not ever write another line of anything in the magazine because they don't know. Because who knows who gets hurt? We don't know that. Injuries change the entire landscape of things. What if their quarterback goes down? Now what? Right? I mean, it could be that. What if Emory Jones gets hurt? Does Anthony Richardson step in and have the same effect on the offense that Jones might have? We don't know that. So to even say that is ridiculous because we don't know what the injury situation is like. But I will say this, Georgia at SEC Media Days is going to be picked to win the SEC East, and they should be. Because I think on paper, their team is very good and their schedule is favorable. But look, we've been around long enough. We know upsets happen. We know things happen where you catch a team on a bad day. They throw 5 picks in one game and something happens. So Georgia should be picked to win the SEC East, but it's no gimme.
Yep. I don't think we've spoken with you since Dan Mullen got a new contract extension. So did Saban. Now, I guess, was it a couple years ago, we couldn't believe how much money Jimbo was making. Well, Dan's making more money than Jimbo now. Just your thoughts on these contracts. I know they're getting out of hand, but that's just the way of the world, right?
It is. And Shane, for people who don't like it, here's my question to them. If somebody offered you that money, would you turn it down? No, of course you wouldn't. If you're working in your job and somebody offers you ridiculous money, no, I don't, these salaries are way out of hand. I'm not going to take it. Of course you're going to take it. But is it out of hand? Yeah. Doctors, nurses, teachers, police officers are so underpaid. And, these coaches get the money that they make. But look, they bring in a lot of money too. They bring in a lot of money to the universities. Nick Saban has brought more students there. He's brought more money there. He's worth every penny of what he's making at Alabama. There's no question about it.
I agree. I know they did their topping off of the new football facility the other day. I don't know if you've been by there to check it out. I'm sure you've seen it go up as you drive to campus every day. Did you get a chance to go out there and check it out?
I didn't, because it was when I was on the air, but it was a nice touch, having everybody, sign and whatever. But we've talked about this a lot, Shane. Florida has done a really good job here when these prospects are coming in of getting, the knock on Dan Mullen has always been he gets good players, but not elite players. He doesn't get the 5-star guys. And there's no guarantee he's going to get the 5-star guys, but they're on campus. A lot of the 5-star athletes now are on campus. They're visiting. So when you get them here, you at least get a chance. And now you can show them, that building that's in progress of being built. Now we'll see, what happens in the end here, but I like so far what this new staff has done.
Yeah. And you and I have talked, I've been preaching facilities for so long. And, I've had arguments that kids don't choose a place to go because of a facility. But if they're, like you said, the 5-stars are on campus, they're going to have their pros and cons of every school. And if you don't have that facility, obviously it goes against you in recruiting. So it's something that we've needed for a long, long time. And I'm very excited about it. It's just a shame it takes so damn long to build one.
Yeah. And, delays and things happen, but at least it's getting there. And now recruits can physically see, what's going on. That's good.
Last thing before we let you go, Steve, I'm just curious, is campus life back to normal? Kids on campus going to class, or is it still all Zoom stuff?
No, there's still some Zoom stuff, but here in our world, it's just about normal. Here kids are back working in close proximity to one another. I would imagine that when I know in summer A is going to end here this week. Summer B, they're expecting, the normal class size, teachers in front of students, that sort of thing. So barring some, setback or change, it's going to be back to normal. And that's good.
Yep. It's U.S. Open week. I know you're not a huge golfer, but you're a golf fan. Who are you going to pick to win the U.S. Open out of Torrey Pines?
I haven't even thought about it, to be honest. The problem, I think, with picking a winner now, Shane, is that, did anybody think Phil Mickelson was going to win PGA? Right? I wouldn't have picked him, right? So yeah. Who's in the, if all the major players are in the field, you flip a coin, and a lot of times, people are wrong. I don't know, though, if there's, I think Mickelson was considered a long shot to win the PGA.
Oh, yeah.
We'd all agree with that. And I don't know that there's a long shot that I picked to win the U.S. Open. It's going to be somebody who, has been playing pretty well here, but Lord knows I have no idea at this point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. The thing I like about when they have those majors out on the West Coast is you get to watch it at night here on the East Coast.
Yes.
So it's pretty dang cool. Major League Baseball, how are your Mets doing? I don't even follow Major League Baseball, Steve, until we get to the playoffs.
Well, they're in first place, which I can't say very often with Mets and first place in the same sentence. But that division is bad. The Mets are the best team right now in a bad division because the Braves, Freddie Freeman's hitting 229. Who'd have thought that? The Phillies just swept the Yankees, and the Yankees are in fourth place, and everybody's freaking out in New York about the Yankees. But I really like San Diego a lot. They have a good young team. And there's two teams to watch that nobody cares about nationally. Milwaukee is one. The Brewers are very good. Their starting pitching is good. If they hit, they're going to win the Central Division. That's one team. And then, as much as I don't like them, the Astros all of a sudden, Altuve's hitting again. Their pitching's coming around. They're leading the West. That's a team I would not want to play if they're firing on all cylinders. But Lord knows there's a long way to go.
Yeah, the reason I brought up the Mets because you're a former pitcher. Is DeGrom one of the best you've ever seen?
Without question. And he is, Shane, because he can flat pitch. I mean, I don't know how old he is now, but I remember doing games when he played for Stetson. He was shortstop as well.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why he can hit, because he was in the lineup. But when Tim Kirkchen said it best, when he's on, when he has his pitches and he's locating them, you have no chance. And you don't. As a hitter, you have no chance. And I can name maybe 5 pitchers. Sandy Koufax, one of them in his prime, when he located his stuff, hitters had no chance. He's in that league. There's no question he's in that league.
Wow. Good stuff as always, Steve. Let everybody know how they can listen to Sports Scene.
Yep. Noontime on ESPN. You can listen in a variety of ways. And I'm looking forward to having Shane and the ball coach back in the fall. We're going to have a lot of fun talking college football. And so at noon to 2, listen in and we'll talk more sports. And I always enjoy being on with you.
Hey, man, appreciate it, Steve. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good summer, buddy.
You too, Shane. Talk to you.
Yep, that's Steve Russell, the Dean of Sports Talk. Join us on the Titan MR Hotline. Going to take a final timeout. For this Monday edition, when we come back, we'll wrap it up.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. QC Kinetics, non-surgical regeneration, live pain-free. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Rap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Silverback Concrete Company. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit PodUpWithShane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security Systems Studios. Center State Bank is now South State Bank, but we still put business first. We understand that small business need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State still has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking forward, member FDIC. I want to thank JC and Steve Russell joining us on the Titan MR Hotline. On Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Cliff says, I always enjoy hearing Steve and love his opinions. Yeah, he's done a tremendous job for a long time. Don't forget, tomorrow's Tuesday. That means Buddy Martin. We got a couple other guests lined up for the entire rest of the program. During the summer, folks, I ain't going to lie to you. People got stuff going on. They're on vacations. So getting a guest is very difficult. But we'll pull somebody out of the hat for you. Make sure you follow us and like us on Facebook Live, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Tell all your friends, all those folks that you're friends with on Facebook, tell them they need to be friends with us and follow our program. We'd appreciate it. Also, don't forget to go to PodUpWithShane.com. We're going to pick a winner for the Chomp Harder hat on Wednesday. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Rap Spot. Be safe out there, folks. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. See you then.
1st and 10. Matthews, near side, wide open, Alonzo Sullivan. He may go. Touchdown, Gators.